All right, you guys, as promised, I want to kind of get into Rahu and Ketu just to kind of like talk about it a little bit and to maybe hopefully help someone understand like what's going on with themselves. So, yeah, stay tuned. All right, you guys. So, as you can see here to your right, you have a picture of what I created from my upcoming Oracle Tarot deck. Um, Before I get into the video, I do want to say that just for the record, I'm a very highly spiritual person. I also believe in God. I believe in a higher power. I also believe in my spirituality that's very strong. So I say that to say we are going to talk about a topic that a lot of people may find unconventional or not traditional based on our elders and the old way of doing things. I believe my gift in life is to help people heal. And with that, I had to heal myself and really dig deep into why I was wired a certain way. So I'm going to use me as an example today to kind of go over the 12 houses as you can see on the screen. And what you guys can do is pull up your own birth chart and learn about yourself. The goal is to grow. The goal is to kind of learn about yourself, to kind of see what you do, why you do things that could potentially help you in relationships. Not just relationships that are intimate, but relationships that are also about yourself, meaning self-love and self with others. It may help you to have better relationship with your kids, your family, and once again, yourself. So we have the 12 houses. And I had to first give that introduction that, astrology is not something that's evil. It's not something, I don't think that's negative, but I do know that some people may view astrology and maybe not know about Vedic astrology and may judge people. So this hopefully is not a judgmental channel, but I know you guys follow me, so you guys understand what it is that I do and why I do things. And for me, this has helped me. So if you want to look for your own birth chart, there's a lot. You can go on Google, put in your details, put in your date of birth, put in your time of birth that you can find potentially on your birth certificate, and Google your own information so that you can kind of help yourself. Now, we all are in this lifetime to add different values based on what we came to learn. Every individual is different. So what I speak of you today about my own birth chart, it's not to say that it reflects yours. You have to put your information in and figure out what it is that you come here to do. I'm going to go over it. We have the 12 houses, and this is based on Western astrology. It can be applied to Vedic. And the reason why I bring up Vedic is because I started out with the Western chart. So you can go on Cafe Astrology. That's one example of a website to look up your Western information. You can go on YouTube and look up other YouTube people that other YouTube channels, and everyone have their perspective. So you can Google other people's to find what websites they use to help themselves. For me, Cafe Astrology is what I've used for the Western. And what is the name of that site? It is farfaraway.co. So it's exactly how it sounds. farfaraway.co. That is how I was able to research, I would say, the past 2 years, Vedic astrology. So that's why I'm bringing up Vedic astrology, because that's when I really started to learn about myself and say, wow, everything makes sense. Vedic astrology has so many different charts that help break down. For example, D1 chart represents your birth chart, similar to the Western chart. Yet not only does it give you that, but it gives you your D9 chart which also represents your marriage chart. So who you're destined to marry, characteristics of your potential spouse, and also like it could show how that relationship may start, where you may meet them, where like I said, a few characteristics. And one of a channel that I love to follow, I recommend you guys follow him as well. Google Jupiter James. He is one of the channels that I follow, and I have ordered plenty of readings from him based on astrology, based on the birth chart. So he tells you as well on his channel that his readings go, they can go with both. They can go with Vedic, and they can also go with the Western chart. So depending on which one is your preference, he would tell you that, and he does both. I'll try to put his link and follow him on YouTube, but he's awesome. Every day, every other day, he's always posting. And I know for me, you guys, I don't post all the time. So I am getting better at that. And I really had to do this video because it changed my life. So I know a lot of you guys may not know that I lost my mother in 2024. That's what helped me really tap into my extra healing gifts, and I really started digging deeper into my life, learning myself, loving myself. I went to therapy, and also in therapy, I was introduced to my therapist sent me what they called a emotional wheel. And let me see if I can put the emotional wheel somewhere in here. Let's see. So as you can see here, I went ahead and added the emotional wheel, and that's how everything really starts for me. Am I sad, or is it just something else that I've just identified? I could jump all over the place, but this will all make sense once I start really getting into it. I'm going to put the chart back up there. So as you can see here, some people say I'm sad, fear, angry, surprised, happy, disgusted. When really looking at sad, are you guilty about something? Are you despaired? Are you lonely? So this emotional wheel is very simplified. If you guys Google emotional wheel, you will see that some have really details. Like it's way more circles and colors in there. This is just I'm trying to be very simple to the point. So understanding, for example, when my mother passed away, I was feeling all different types of emotions, and going to therapy kind of like helped me to unlock my highest emotional intelligence. So once you can understand yourself, emotional intelligence, understand your own emotions, then I would say go look at your birth chart, and that will explain why you may be sad, why you may fear certain things, fear of an abandonment, fear of losing something. And when you start looking into your chart in astrology and Vedic astrology, you feel like, oh my God, everything is starting to make so much sense. So thirdly, if you look at the card deck, that leads us into why I have decided to create my own positive oracle deck, which represents Ketu and Rahu. And I have cards such as boundaries, sacred union, karmic loop, soul contract. Because a soul contract, looking at your birth chart, looking at Vedic astrology, you may find that I have a soul contract with someone. That's why I feel so deeply for them, even potentially without even meeting a person. Okay, well, based on, let's say, Rahu in 7th house Venus, you have that placement. So that's why you feel a certain way about relationships. Going back to the beginning, I know a lot of people not into astrology, they may question it, but I assume that because you guys are following me, you have a little understanding or a little appreciation for things that are outside of the box and unconventional. So speaking of unconventional, that's when I said I have to do something that represents Rahu and Ketu, because that is what really helped unlock me and understanding me and understanding myself. And I hope to share that so that maybe it can help someone else out there, you know. So let's get further started. Yes. So when I spoke to my therapist, it speaking of the emotional will, I was angry, but really that anger was more so distant, or I felt hurt, or I felt disappointed by someone versus really being angry. And if you look at the bigger details of the emotional will, it kind of gives you so many emotions. I would say at least over 100. But I kind of wanted to, as I mentioned, keep it so simplified because I didn't want people to get too confused about learning. Then once you get into your birth chart, so I'm looking at another emotional will, for example, going back, angry. Was I really angry at the person for leaving me during a hard time when my mother passed? Or was it something that I felt let down? I felt humiliated. I was bitter. I was mad, aggressive, frustrated, distant, critical. And then it goes deeper to the outer shell. Okay, betrayed, resentful, disrespected. You guys see where I'm going? So yeah, we have the about 7 normal emotions, such as sad, fear, anger, surprise, happy, etc. When really there's over 100 other emotions, and you have to start getting down to the bottom of the outer layer versus the inner. And when I say the inner layer, it's that middle piece that you're looking at, the sad, fear, anger. It's that middle piece, okay? So we really want to start stepping outside the box. We really want to start digging deep. And what's another one of my tarot deck cards? When you start digging deep, you can stop the karmic loop. That's a card in my deck. You can stop the karmic loop with certain relationships. You can start building those sacred unions, the twin flame union, the soulmate union. You see where I'm going with this? So when you guys see my tarot deck, it's going to be so beautiful. It's going to all make sense, but it came about due to loss, and it came about due to grief, and it came about due to love. Love to me is the number one highest form that you can experience in this lifetime. So I said, enough is enough. I want to be able to get to that point where I love myself and I can love others how they need to love. Excuse me, guys. I can love others how they need to be loved too. And it's not just about me. And yeah, so it's not just about me. Now, with that being said, now that we kind of broke down emotions, how we feel, how does that relate to our birth chart? So I'm gonna put the birth chart back up here. Now let's get into it. With the 12 houses, as mentioned, go to astrology, Western, whichever is your preference, Vedic astrology, whichever one is your preference. But once I really started getting into the Vedic astrology, everything made sense. So Rahu is considered the north node, and Ketu is considered the south node. So most people have heard of that based on the Western chart. And so in Vedic astrology, they call it Rahu and Ketu. And I came across a YouTube channel. I wish I could find where I got it from, you guys. So I would say do a little bit more digging. Google and YouTube, Ketu versus Rahu, whatever. But Ketu basically represents our past life, what we've already accomplished. So in this lifetime, it's something that you're really, really good at. Rahu is something that we are learning in this lifetime, something that we need to overcome. It's a challenge. So we always seem to fall back on Rahu. The goal in this life is to balance both Ketu and Rahu. So when I looked at someone else's channel, they explain it perfectly. And I've never heard anybody explain Rahu and Ketu so much. And they said it's like a seesaw. If you're doing too much of one thing, you're imbalanced in another area. Okay, so I would say neither one is good or bad. It's more about balancing, but also if you want to really overcome Rahu, which is what we come in this soul lifetime to do, our soul purpose is to crave Rahu. Now that you guys understand that, wherever Rahu falls in your birth chart, and within the 12 houses, as you can see, 1 through 12. So one through 12. And going back to where I originally saw someone had mentioned, balance your Rahu and Ketu. It should be 50-50 of each. And that's how you know that you're balancing your chart out, you're doing your life purpose, you're doing what you need to do. And I say that to say because Rahu can be an obsession. Rahu can be something where you want to eat. So if you Google the story of Rahu and Ketu, originally it was considered a man. And then the man had, I guess, lost like a part of his head. So the head is considered Rahu. When you cut the head off, it eats everything and it's never satisfied. It loves gold. It loves money. It loves the excitement, unconventional, untraditional, eat. It wants things right now. It wants what it wants. Where Ketu is the body. So when the head was cut off, that's Rahu. The body is considered Ketu, which is more balanced, or I wouldn't say balanced, but more laid back, meaning it's something that you've already accomplished in your past life. It's something that you're very familiar with in this lifetime. So it comes easy to you. But doing something in life that's easy to you, meaning you're falling more so into the Ketu, you're still not living your life purpose because you're too afraid to hop into the unknown, to go into the Rahu depths and really help yourself and escalate your spiritual growth. Now that has been said, let's take a look at the houses to kind of put it all together. So Rahu is telling us Rahu / North Node is telling us you need to learn this lesson. You need to get over this challenge because it's going to keep hunting you until you learn a lesson. So for example, Rahu based on first house is all about yourself. You, appearance, first expressions, head, your face, your style. Number 2 represents money, passions, income, assets, as you could see. Number 3 represents siblings, school, short trips, goddess, neighborhood, communication. 4th house represents past, father, home, family, lineage, private. 5th could be children. So Rahu can represent, the children, the creativity, the pressure, the romance, like romantic relationships, good fortune, and sex. 6th house is all about the health, the wealth, the routine, like your routine day-to-day life, your illness, your work, your pets. Skipping over 12th, everything else. Let me just finish it. 7th house is, as you can see, relationships, marriage, partner. 8th house represents debt, taxes, couple, money, inheritance, meaning couple money. Like maybe you may marry somebody who has an inheritance or something like that. That's the house of death and debt. Hopefully you guys can hear me based on my pronunciation. 9th house represents travel, study, religion, international, foreign lands, faith, divine, God. And that house also represents the father to me as well, but most people may say something differently, like when you Google it. And I believe I thought 4th house really represented your mother. So 10th house is more about your career. So everybody loves that, right? What's some of the top things that we care about? Like, how good is our health going to be? 6th house. Are we going to be making some good money? 10th house. What is some spirituality? Am I going to elevate in this life? 12th house. What about my marriage? What about my partnerships with people? 7th house. What about the love that I have for my kids and everything? That's the 5th house. You guys see where I'm going? So once you learn the will, 1 through 12, then you can start putting the houses in there, the planets in there. For example, planets like Jupiter, Venus, Mars, Mercury. You see how everything is starting to line, and all of those planets can go into any of those houses and be ruled by the 12 zodiac signs, which is also going to influence that house. To finish, 11th house is your hopes, your community, your friendship, your groups. Think of social media. And then lastly, 12th house is that retreat, escape, hidden, release, unconscious, like your unconscious mind, someone that knows how to meditate. So I think, to me, one of the most important houses, and this is just based on opinion, is 7th house, because once again, what do we care about? Marriage and partnership. kids. So 5th house, money, 10th house, 12th house, spirituality. I think that's a well-balanced chart most people look at. And then of course, your home. If you really, really care about your home more than anything, look at the 4th house. So not to sound repetitive, once you start really learning the houses, learning what they mean, then you can start putting 1 + 1 = 2 together and start putting in the planets in there, who rules that house, and then that will help you determine who you are. Now that we have that established, for me, I have Rahu in the 7th house. So going back to what did I say? Rahu is about what you need to overcome in this lifetime, what you were reincarnated to do. So for me, because Rahu is what I'm learning, that's going to be my most powerful house and the one that I obsess about. I forgot to mention, Rahu is obsession. You're obsessing over this every single day. For example, let's say someone obsesses over their kids' life. They obsess over their children. They obsess over creativity or romance and good fortune. I may assume that, okay, maybe you have Rahu in the 5th house without even looking at their birth chart. Or let's say somebody is overly religious, like they meditate too much. And remember what I told you about Rahu Ketu. Rahu overextends by 1,000. Ketu underextends by 1,000, because that's something something you're comfortable with, something you're familiar with. So K2 is going to bring you back into your comfort zone. But remember, in life, we're not here to be comfortable. We're here to grow. So that's why Rahu to me is the most important house, wherever that falls. And that's why I included it in my tarot deck, because that's going to help me see what is this person learning in this lifetime. Okay, I pulled a Rahu card, so that may show me like, okay, if it's upside down, you're not balancing Rahu. You're over obsessing over that 7th house relationship, wanting to be married, putting your partner before your needs. Let's say staying in relationships a little bit too long, because Rahu, when it's unbalanced and it's just eating, and you're not balancing it out with that K2, meaning, okay, I love you, I'm thinking about you, but now I have to balance it with the K2. So I'm gonna fall back for a little bit and ground myself. K2 grounds. Rahu expands. It likes to eat. Not to keep saying eat, but yeah. Let's see here. So for me, I have Rahu in the 7th with Venus, planet. Ruler is Aries, so that's that fire sign. So what might they tell somebody? Okay, she has Rahu in the 7th. The Venus is balancing it out, because what is Venus? Venus is about love and beauty, peace and harmony. And it's going to balance that 7th house planet out of Aries too. So Aries is impulsive on its own. So your ruler is Aries, and Rahu already obsesses and is hungry too. So now you got a fire ruler of that 7th house that's going crazy. But then Venus comes along and bring that beauty. Now, with that being said, the opposite of Rahu, K2 is in my 1st house. And then I have Saturn in my 1st house. And the funny thing is, the ruler is Libra. So not only am I dealing with harmony in the 7th house, I'm dealing with harmony in the 1st house too, because guess what? Libra is in the 1st house, which is all about your appearance, yourself, your first expression, your head, your face, your style. So I'm a very balanced person. I see both sides of everything, because that Libra energy, I'm very highly ruled by Venus in my chart. So once my mother passed, I said, I need to figure out, why do I keep attracting certain relationships? What's going on in my birth chart? Why am I really good at communication, really good at work? But when it comes to love, it seems like I'm not able to keep it, and it's not able to stick. So boom. Okay, let's say someone pull my chart up. They see Rahu in the 7th house. They may say, listen, and the K2 is in the 1st house with Saturn as your Amakaraka. You're here to love yourself. You have K2 in the 1st house that's balancing you back out. Saturn is the planet that takes long to reach fruition. So luckily for me, I'm already past my Saturn return. So because Saturn delays, that can indicate a delayed marriage. So it's telling someone, okay, this person has to learn to love themselves, has to learn to balance themselves out between the first house and the seventh house before they are blessed with that marriage relationship. And I know this seems like a lot. I may have to do a better organization and potentially maybe do a second video so you guys can kind of see what I'm saying. But I think me explaining it, you guys Googling the emotional will. So firstly, understand what emotions and emotional intelligence is. I know you guys are smart, but for educational purposes, I just wanted to put that out there. Start there. Once you grasp the emotional part, go find the astrological houses to understand what 1 through 12 mean. Then from there, where does your Rahu fall within that house? And who could be the ruler of that house? So I don't have Rahu in the 12th house, but I'm going to speak on just an example of, let's say someone has Rahu in the 12th house, because this is very important because the 12th house is completion. It represents, like I said, the subconscious mind. It represents healing, closure, spirituality. And when someone Googles it, they may think 12th house is like really strict. Like, oh my God, it represents prison and hospitals. You know, I'm not in a prison. I'm not in a hospital, but you guys have to think symbolically. What symbolically can isolation represent? What can symbolically prison represent as far as Rahu in its 12th house? Because that is the house of retreat, escapism, meaning you're escaping something, something's hitting. Spirituality. A person that has Rahu, a good example is Nelson Mandela and I believe Gandhi. So when you think of these people, you think, wow, they were great people in life. They were good speakers. They changed the world. People look at them like preachers, like gods, right? Because they had that 12th house Rahu, and Rahu represents that. So what's the opposite of the 12th house? The 6th house. And that represents service to others. Routine, like what's your everyday routine? I go to the gym every day. I'm very strict about the gym. I'm very strict about my cleaning. That's routine. So when you see 6th house representing like health, fitness, systems, analytical type nature type stuff, you think of like that. Habits, you write it down, you're consistent, you have a schedule. Your gift, your service. So the opposite of that is what? Retreat. Spirituality, elevation, meditation, hospitals, prisons. So I believe when I told someone that, they didn't like it. So when you do read and research Vedic astrology, it is kind of what's the word I want to use? It's very hardcore. Someone may say, "Oh no, I'm not that type of person. I'm not in jail." But guess what? What's the symbolic representation of jail? You could be in a jail in your mind, because this does represent the subconscious mind, correct? So it may tell me, okay, this person may not go to jail. They may not be in a hospital, but they may mentally put themselves in that situation or that state of mind, not in touch with reality type stuff. You know what I'm saying? Like really going too much into meditation, too much into spiritual learning, too much of anything, you guys, is not good. And what did I say about balance? So K2, if you feel like you're doing too much meditation, you feel like you're too much not in touch with reality, you feel like escaping. And what's another thing for escapism? Drugs, alcohol, relationships, like people that could potentially get into a relationship and escape into their relationship to get away from the real world of reality. So yeah, when I see Rahu in the 12th house, I think it's a very powerful house when you master it. Because think of like Nelson Mandela, and he actually did go to jail. So he actually did go to prison. But guess what happened when he went to prison? He got out. He continued his movement. He changed the world. He had a following. You know what I mean? So he had an awakening by going to prison to be able to sit himself down. And guess what? In prison, what do you have to do? What are you going to do when you're in prison to balance yourself out? Work out. See how I just spin that? Work out, do something that's consistent, cleaning. So you may be in jail physically, but you are sticking to a routine, like an everyday routine, to be able to balance out your Rahu in the 12th house. So when I see that, I'm going to see someone that's like a seesaw. I'm going between meditation to everyday service. So if you feel like you too stuck on one thing, as a Rahu 12 person, too stuck on religion, too stuck on everything that's in the house that represents isolation, escapism, step outside the box and take it back to what you're used to doing, which is Ketu. Ketu is something we've mastered. So if you've already mastered giving to others, you've mastered giving a service to people, you've mastered routine, health, and fitness, you need to overcome Rahu in the 12th house, okay? Give yourself that balance. Give yourself that grace. So I know I keep saying somebody else. Now let's take it back to my chart. I have Rahu in the 7th, Ketu in the 1st. For me, if I am giving too much into relationship, putting my relationships on a pedestal, forgetting and neglecting my gifts, because also Venus represents creativity and artism. So I was really, really good at artistic work, drawing, painting, writing. 7th house represents the Rahu, the Venus, and the Aries. So I could be impulsive with my decisions because the Aries rules my 7th house. Go-getter. And then having that Rahu there, I'm ready. I'm trying to take the ground and run with it. But the Venus is saying, before being too impulsive with that Aries, step into your K2 and ground yourself. Go back to the 1st house of self and say, okay, my relationship abandoned me because I put them on a pedestal, gave them everything, neglected my spiritual gifts. So now what is the universe forcing me back into my K2 to say, elevate yourself, get your body together. What else can I say about 1st house? Like what I do, I turn that pain into power. So even though I've been through a lot of relationships, and I know I'm not showing you guys my full chart, I'm just speaking from my D1, D9, and D10. My Rahu is in 7th, but when I look at my D9 and D10, it goes to the 10th house. And what is 10th house, you guys? Overall, it's your career, okay? It's your career, it's your goals, it's your structure, it's your status, your reputation, your public image. So what does that tell me based on D9, which is also the marriage chart? It may tell me like, okay, you may have hard times starting out because Rahu is in the 7th in your birth chart. Giving too much love to other people, where D9, you may marry somebody that it could be a public image because Rahu goes into the 10th house, which is all about career. Opposite of that is 4th house. So let's say someone with Rahu in the 10th house, they may be so obsessed with working. What's the opposite of working? Family. If you're overworking yourself, and I see Rahu in that 10th house, I'm going to tell you, go home. Stop working too much. Go home. Make sure your family life is in order. Make sure your roots is in order. Self-care foundation, because that represents mother too as well, and children and femininity. So you feel like you're doing too much work, obsessing in that area, take a step back. Say, K2, I need you right now. I need you, South Node. Come in and balance that out with the 4th house. So you guys see where I'm going here? First, study the will. Once you can understand what each house means, 1 through 12, then figure out, go on farfaraway.co, because I like that site as far as reading Vedic astrology. Put your birth information, put your birth time, figure out where your Rahu is, and that's going to help you grow, love yourself, and learn in this lifetime. So, yeah, let me see, make sure I didn't miss anything. And if you guys decide to come across this video and maybe you want something a little bit more detailed, I don't mind doing a part 2, part 3, or part 4 of this, but I kind of just wanted to speak on it because why? I want people to grow. I want people to learn themselves, love themselves, because love frequency is about that energy. It's about love energy. It's about turning pain into power. It's about being able to not only love yourself, but you love yourself so much, you're able to attract marriage and a true love if you're not already married. But you first got to get down to the roots of the problem. And going back to when I mentioned therapy, understand the emotional wheel, understand why you keep feeling that way. So for me, I love people. I love others. I'm very beauty, and that explains it. Someone can research me and say, okay, she was born during Venus. She has a Libra ruler of her first house, and Venus rules my 7th house. Okay, so losing my mother, it stripped me of putting too much into relationships because Rahu obsessed over that. So in this life, that's what I'm learning. I'm learning to balance my relationships. I'm learning to balance my work. I'm learning to balance my home life, because in my D9 and D10, Rahu goes to the 10th house and it stays there. So that tells me that when I do get married, it's going to be a balance between my wife, my public image, my career, and then saying, hey, let's take a break and go take it to our home life and balance that. Excuse me, guys, balance that energy out. Let's see, what else can we add to this? Yeah, so it's not hard to Google the astrological house wheel, but I would say start there. So once I really started seeing North Node, okay, North Node is lessons in life. Then I started going on YouTube, looking at a lot of different videos that has helped me. And what's this other guy that I follow? KRS1. He is really good. But all you got to do is go to YouTube and say Rahu. Let's say your Rahu is in the 8th house. Go Google that. Say Rahu in the 8th house. What does this mean? What am I learning in life? And how do I overcome it? How do I stop obsessing? Because Rahu is an obsession. And once you can learn that, Rahu cannot take control over you, because now you understand what's going on. Now you understand your personality. And once you understand yourself, you're able to control yourself and control what's going on. So for me, because Rahu is in the 7th house of relationships and partnerships, I understood why I put people on a pedestal. I understood why I neglected my self, which is first house Ketu, to please my relationship, to please other people. Now that I'm aware and I have awakened, I now know how to balance Rahu and Ketu and say, okay, if I'm giving too much to my relationship, I'm going to do some self-care. I'm going to travel. I'm going to do self-love, because that's what the universe is teaching me in this lifetime. It's teaching me about me, putting me first, but also putting my partner in a balance too. Because when you want to get married, you guys, 7th house also represents the marriage chart. You have to not necessarily stop loving yourself, but you do have, and I don't want to use the word compromise either. You have to be able to learn yourself to be able to have a balance and say, hey, babe, I'm doing too much. Let me do what I need to do for this marriage, do what I need to do for this relationship. But hey, I want to start a business. I want to go to the spa. I want to look great. I want to save money. You see how I'm saying I, because for me, I have K2 in the 1st house, and that's something that I need to lean back on, because Rahu is doing too much in the 7th house in his lifetime. He's doing too much. And I can always tell when I'm off balance, because I start doing more for other people than I do for myself. So I'm not trying to make this video too long, but I will, and I do not mind doing a part 2. And the tarot deck / oracle deck will be ready around June time frame. I'm currently in production to continue creating the cards, but I said, listen, Rahu and Ketu changed my life. It awakened me. It helped me to understand. And I know I'm not giving you guys my full birth chart, because guess what? My 7th lord goes to the 9th house. And what is 9th house? Travel, philosophy, okay, law, learning, foreign travels, learning. So when I see my 7th lord ruler, Aries, goes to the 9th house of what? Mars, and my sun, Dara, which is what represents your marriage, is in also the 9th house. And my what? Ruler of the 9th house is Gemini, but Mercury is also in the 9th house. So what is that telling me too? Guess what I'm doing now? What am I doing right now, you guys? I'm speaking to you guys on a podcast. I'm expressing turning pain into power. I'm expressing healing, love. And as you guys can see, I travel a lot. I'm in different countries. I'm, learning different cultures. So when you guys really start digging deep in your chart, you'll see what's going on. Matter of fact, I'm gonna try to pull my chart up, but not try to go too deep because we're already running on 40 minutes. Give me 1 second. If I don't put something up here. So yeah, so this is my birth chart and this is the website that I use. This is my D1 chart. As you can see, Venus and Rahu is in this house. Aries rules it, so it's very fiery. Wait, is this mine? Let's see. Hold on, you guys. About you, first house, as you can see, their ruler is Libra, but we have Amakaraka, Saturn, and Ketu. So, and then Jupiter, which is really good in the 4th house for me, and then 10th house, there's nothing there for my D1, but the ruler is Cancer. Then, of course, I have the Leo ruler for my social, which is 11th house, represents your friendship, like social media type stuff. Sorry, let's see. Let me just make sure this is correct. Yeah, and then let me press this one because this is going to represent that's the 10th house. So you can see career, right? See how my career it doesn't change with the Rahu in there. And then love. So my marriage, Rahu and everything is in this house. To the 9th house, which is powerful. 9th house representing the father. So that may tell me that eventually when I do get married, I'm gonna marry somebody who is like a father figure, like a mentor, like a guru, like a spiritual person like me, spiritual beliefs, likes to travel. And keep in mind what I mentioned to you guys before, travel doesn't necessarily have to mean you get on a plane. Travel can mean something like spiritual connection, a spiritual travel, astral travel in the spiritual world, because I'm gonna show you something else. My sun, which represents the spouse, goes into the 12th house. So, but the 12th house ruler, I'm gonna show y'all. So that's my career, but with the D9, which is my spouse, me and my spouse chart, you see how that sun, which is sun Dara from the D1 chart, goes into the 12th house. But the good thing, what's that 12th house? Retreat, escapism, hidden, release, unconscious, subconscious mind, travel, the undoing of yourself. That tells me, okay, I'm gonna get married based on D1. It's gonna have that D9 influence. Maybe we could talk about religion. Maybe we may start a retreat. Maybe we may start off like talking or something like that. Then once we get to know each other, it goes into the 12th house, which maybe we may have a private life of our spirituality because it immediately jumps to the 12th house. But thank God the 12th house is represented by Jupiter. Jupiter is a very good planet. Jupiter planet is in the 12th house, but who is the ruler of Jupiter, you guys? Sagittarius. Sagittarius rules the 12th house. That takes it easy because Sagittarius people are laid back. They don't necessarily take things seriously. So that tells me, okay, cool. Even though my sun Dara, which represents spouse, goes to the 12th house, which can be a very intense house. Me and my spouse may meditate together. We may start something together, but it's going to be about friendship because it's ruled by what? Sagittarius, which is a very laid back sign. Let's say you had a crazy sign in there. Not to say a sign is crazy, but I would just say a complex. Whatever complex means to you guys. But I think Sagittarius isn't a complex person. So I don't know. Let's just say an Aquarius. Okay, wait, that's a laid back sign too. But pick a sign. Okay, it may say like, oh, I'm gonna use Aries because not to no offense, you guys, this Aries, but If Aries was the ruler of the 12th house of my sun, it goes there in the D9 representing marriage chart. I may assume, okay, that's going to be a very impulsive, fiery energy. Okay. So thankfully, Sagittarius rules it. So that, my birth chart is a really good chart. But once I started really learning it and understanding D1, D9, D10, I'm like, oh my God, that makes so much sense. And going back to the birth chart, because Mercury rules the 9th house, my 7th lord goes there. 7th lord represents my marriage. So who rules Mercury? Virgos and Geminis. So because Mercury not only is the ruler Gemini, but also Mercury is in the 9th house. So that tells me it's a strong communication. What am I doing with you guys right now? Talking. I'm really good at talking. I'm really good at expressing myself. So not to be long-winded, but you guys can use this information and help you learn. It's going to help you learn about yourself. It's going to help you learn about your relationships. It's going to show you spiritual elevation. So 9th house being such a strong spiritual chart, me and my spouse may have a spiritual connection, some type of spiritual language. Let me go back to the 12th house because that's where the Dharaka go there. So that, I would say, tying everything together. And sorry guys, number one, I'm just getting over a cold. Number two, I've been talking all day. Number three, this video is almost an hour long. I do apologize, so please forgive me guys, bear with me. But that's how I started out. So once I started researching my birth chart, I literally started going house by house based on go back to my original birth chart, and then Googling it on YouTube. So I said, oh my God, okay, I got Rahu in the 7th house. What represents the 7th house? Relationships. Let me go on YouTube and say, Rahu and Venus is in the 7th house. Tell me about it. And if you guys feel like you want to chat GPT it, go ahead and do that, because chat GPT is really good at breaking stuff down too. So that's how we got to where we are today. Okay, so Rahu Ketu is going to be in the Oracle deck. This is the to your right of the screen. This is a sample of what I think Rahu and Ketu represent. So you guys are going to love the card deck. And yeah, if I see this card, if I pull Ketu or Rahu in the deck, I'm automatically going to know, okay, this is what you know about yourself, and this is what you're learning in this lifetime. So let's see, what else can I add to that? Yeah, I think that's it for now. And like I said, I'll do a part 2, a part 3, and I put my birth details in here. But it's basically telling me, and then you see how powerful my marriage chart is. Literally, let me go back. The 7th house. What's in the 7th house, you guys? Jupiter. So Jupiter is a very expansive chart, and the ruler is Cancer. So that's going to tell me that the relationship is going to be nurturing, and it's going to be a blessed, expansive partnership, because Jupiter represents big money. It's very good. It's very good to have in the 7th chart. And how do I know that? Because I Googled it. I Googled literally. I said, this is what's in my D1 chart, and then it moved to this in my D9 chart, and that's how I was able to discover and unlock myself, unlock why I chose certain careers. Because if you look at the charts, that represents law too. Okay, 9th house, looking at all of that, international, divine, God. That's a very, very, I think I have a good birth chart. And not only do I have a good birth chart, see what I just put up here, the D10 chart. That's why I said I like Vedic astrology, because Vedic astrology not only breaks down your normal birth chart, which is D1, but it also goes into specifics, because we all want to know who we're going to marry. We all want to know, like, how our partner may look. All that is found in your birth chart. I promise you this. Going back to the beginning of the video, going back to religion. Okay, so like I said, I believe in God, but I also like to research astrology, understand the meaning to life. And once again, let's go back to my birth chart. Sorry guys, This explains it. You see right there, that explains why I love to seek knowledge, because seventh lord, where my Rahu is, goes to the ninth house. That's why I'm very deep with spirituality. That's why I love spirituality. Then from there, eighth house is spiritual too. You know, we have the Leo and Moon. So Leo rules the sun. So that's in my eighth house, because the ruler of the eighth house is Leo. And then we have Moon that goes there. I think my chart is a really good chart. I'm trying not to make this too long, but I think I gave you guys a good foundation to start, a good foundation to go to farfaraway.co. And if you guys get lost by the website, it's right here in the video, farfaraway.co. Put in your birth details. First, figure out where your Rahu is. Then start going on a hunt of learning Rahu, learning why it's in 1 through 12 of the houses. Find out where it is. So I'm going to take the last few minutes. I don't have Rahu in the 12, but I do have my Sun Dharakara card, which is my spouse. Representation of the sun goes to the 12th house. So if you have a Rahu, I would say there, going back to what I said, there's somebody that's deep, that's somebody that's spiritual, that's somebody that likes to meditate. But if they're too much off balance into that Rahu state of mind, that's going to tell me that they like escapism. They choose things to escape reality, which in turn can create a prison. Remember what I told you guys about 12th house can represent mental institutions, hospitals, and physical jails, but it can symbolically represent, if you're off balance and have Rahu here, it's going to tell me you like to get too much in your head, and you need somebody, a partner, that's able to communicate with you to get you out of that space and say, hey, babe, you're too much into this spiritual path. You're too much in depth into the escapism. You're too much into your mind, your spiritual mind, your unconscious. Let's go to your 6th house where your Ketu lives. Give back to other people. Help people. Be of a service. Create a routine for yourself. So it's going to tell me this person naturally knows how to create a routine, because remember, 6th house represents what? Health, wellness, routines, illness, work, plans, pets. So it's going to tell me that you've already mastered this. So if you're too much focused on Rahu, give back. Give back to your pets. Open up a charity organization. It's going to tell me, if you haven't already. And once again, Nelson Mandela, what did he do? Even though he did physically go to jail, he ended up being a very powerful leader, a very powerful speaker, spiritually. Okay. Even Gandhi was a very spiritual person, very meditative. But keep in mind, too much of anything is not good, baby. Too much isolating yourself away from people, which the 6th house is service to other people. You're letting me know right there, focus on that. So Rahu people, you have Rahu 12, start focusing on your health, start focusing on your routines, your fitness, and everything else. Okay. So part 2 can be coming, but I really wanted to kind of get the ball rolling with really explaining to you guys Vedic astrology, how it really changed my life, how it really helped me to understand. Even though I understood myself, when I lost my mother, I had to relearn the meaning of life. That's what sent me on a spiritual journey, because look at my chart, you guys. My chart even says it, right? It's right there, you guys. 7th house Lord goes to the 9th house, which is a spiritual house of travel, study, religion, okay, faith, God, okay. What am I doing now? I love going to spiritual retreats too. I love meditation too. And sometimes people may confuse 9th house with 12th house, because they can be very similar. So I know I explained religion, spirituality, which is strong. That also represents 9th house. But when you go to the 12th house, that's when you're really going deep into the depths of God status. So once somebody in this lifetime, Rahu 12 person masters 12th house, I foresee them being someone like Gandhi, someone like Nelson Mandela. You see what I'm going with this? Not only based on ninth house, is someone that loves to study, research, find theories on things, mental communication, because Mercury's in the ninth house for me. So I love mental stimulation. I love communication. I love reading. I love traveling. I love understanding the meaning of life. And placing Rahu in any of these 12 houses just makes it stronger. It makes you obsessed and, you know, possess that planet. And this life is all about learning to overcome it and balance it out. That's all. So I would say stay tuned, you guys, because this is getting too long. But yeah, I enjoyed this. I enjoyed going over like Rahu and Ketu with you guys. Stay tuned for the tarot deck / oracle cards, because I think they represent what I went through with therapy, healing, growth, Rahu, Ketu. This is where I'm at now, and I think I'm really learning the meaning of life. But it starts with emotional intelligence. Once you have that understanding to understand not only yourself but other people, because where's my Rahu, you guys? 7th house. And that's learning partnerships. That's learning how to balance love and light and working with others, you know. So yeah, that's it for now. And I would say stay tuned. And thank you guys for tuning in.